Still switching between multiple tools just to work with your Oracle database? One tool for SQL, another for project files, another for real SQL. It slows things down. With Oracle SQL Developer inside VS Code, you can manage your Oracle database right where you already write your code. Now, if you have been following this channel, I have already created a complete setup and installation video for Oracle SQL Developer in VS Code. And I have also covered the SQL Notebook feature, which is a really powerful and advanced feature. But I wanted to make a quick practical basics video for anyone getting started. So in this video, we'll create a connection, we'll open a worksheet, we'll run certain SQLs, create tables, insert data, and we'll see some of the native options that are available like SQL snippets and reports and things like that. And yes, we'll also cover certain other features which are available within the SQL Developer extension of VS Code. So let's get started.
Welcome back to my channel Into the Oracleverse, where we learn about Oracle SQL, PL SQL, and Apex. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button.
Once the installation is set, so you'd be able to see a screen like this. And in the left-hand pane, so we have three different sections. So we have connection section, and then we have SQL snippet section, and then we have report section. So first, the immediate thing that we will be doing once we set up the SQL Developer extension is to create the connection and to establish the connection with the Oracle database. So to do that, we'll just have to click this plus button. So this will create a particular window here within which we can provide the relevant connection name. So let me call it as text connection, and then we can provide the user info. So if the role is default, we can go with default, or else if it is a sys account, so we can go with sys DBA. And then we can provide the username and the password. And along with that, we'd be able to provide the connection type as well. So let me show an already existing thing that I have. So here you would be able to see that I have named it as ITOV schema, and then I have provided the relevant user info and the password for the given schema. And I have asked it to save the password. Else, we every time when we log in, or every time we try to establish a connection with the database, so it will ask for the password. So in order to skip that particular step, so I have checked this save password, and then we can provide the connection type. So here it is TNS in my case, so I have provided as TNS, and then I have provided the actual connection identifier here. Or else we can also go with advanced options, but just with the basic options we'd be able to cover it, and then we'd be able to set this up. And once you fill in all the required details, so here you'd be able to provide the service name, or else you can also provide it with the SID as well. So once you provide everything, so it is important to test the connection before you check it. So once you click this here, you can see this part. So the test pass for the connection. So once we are very sure that the test is successful, we can click this connect, and then it will get connected. So I have already set this up, but setting it up is very easy, and it is similar to the SQL Developer desktop as well. So once we have the connection set up, next we would want to create a worksheet out of it where we can perform or we can execute the SQL queries. So to do that, I'll just have to click the first icon here. So it shows the tooltip here. So it says that it'll open the SQL worksheet. So I'll just click that. So once I click that particular part, you'll be able to see that the connection has been established. And moreover, at the bottom, so you'll be able to see the schema name is present here. So ITOV schema. So this denotes that every query that we execute here will be executed on this particular schema. So that's the actual case here. In SQL Developer, it would be on the top right, but here it is in the bottom right. And once this is present, so let's try by writing a SQL statement. So here we have certain features like autocomplete and things like that. So with that intelligence sense, we would be able to write the codes in a much easier way. So now, yes, I'll just start with a small basic query. So I am just selecting one from the web. And similar to Oracle SQL Developer, so the desktop version, so we have the SQL history as well. So here you'd be able to see all the previously executed SQL statements in this particular scheme, and in also in other schemas as well. So this is one another feature, or the similar feature that we have in SQL Developer desktop. So we have it here. And then this is just a starting point. So here we have certain icons. So this is to run the statement. So it is similar to running the SQL, and the shortcut, as you know, it is Control plus Enter. So by clicking that, we'll be able to execute the SQL query. So that's a shortcut. And then we would also be able to run it as a script. So this will be helpful if we have set of SQL statements that need to be executed. So now let me get started by creating a particular table. So I have the DDLs ready, and let me execute it. So I can just run it as a script. So the tables have been created, and when I run it as a script, you would be able to see that the output would be present in script output. And if it is a DQL, so if I run a select statement, so the output would be present in the query result. So that is one another thing that would be helpful. And once I execute it, Yeah, so this table would have been created, and we would be able to see that just by expanding this. So here we'll be able to see all the database objects that are available here, and then within tables, now I have created demo departments and demo employees. So we can see those two tables created here. And now let me run certain insert statements. Yes, so I have the insert statements ready. Let me run it as a script again. Yes, so all the rows have been inserted. But now if I look into the table, so to navigate to the table directly in a much simpler way, so we will have to press control, and then we'll have to hold that control icon, and then we'll have to hold that control button, and then we'll have to press this. So we'll have to right click from the touchpad or key or the mouse, whichever we are using. So that will take us directly here. And within data, we can see that it is still empty, even though that insert statements have been executed. And that is because it is not committed yet. So that is similar to SQL Developer that we have. So what we'll have to do is, so to make sure that the changes are persistent, so we'll have to commit the changes. So now if I press commit and if I come back here and if I click refresh, so this is the refresh icon. So I'll click refresh and I can see those insert statements are being committed. So I can see those details here. And now one another thing that we might want to do is the export. So we'll navigate. So that's one primary reason why we would be using SQL Developer most, right? So we'll use it to query the table and as well as to export the data so that it can be used elsewhere. So I'll click this and then I would be able to see this window. Now this window can also be seen here. So now let me write a simple select statement on top of this particular table, the demo departments. Yes. Now let me execute it and you'll be able to see it here. So to take an export, I can also right click here and then I can click export. Now, there are two formats in which the data can be exported or the two export destinations. So either we can export the contents as a file or we'll be able to directly export it to clipboard. So if we are exporting it to clipboard, still we would be able to choose the format. So I can provide it as CSV or text, or I can also provide it as HTML and other things. But one thing to note here, so we don't have XLSX for now. So what I have been doing is, so I'll be taking it as an CSV export and then I am converting it right at the moment, or I have certain AI tools to do that job for me. So in upcoming videos, I can actually show that. But right now, XLSX is or exporting the data as XLSX, it's not possible. So we'll have to go with either of this. I'll choose this and then I'll provide it as clipboard for now, and then I'll click export. So the data is copied to the clipboard right now. So now if I paste it, I can see the data here. So it is in the CSV format. So and then we'd also be able to export it to our local repository. So that would also be the same thing, except I'll have to choose a file here as export destination, and then I can provide the relevant file name and the relevant location so that it would be stored there. So that is pretty much it. And then with this, we'd be able to clear the query results. So that is one another thing. So this will clear this out. Next, I'd like to talk about the SQL snippets that we have here. So this SQL snippet section, this will make our job in writing SQL statements much easier. So I can, let's say if I have to write a query to find the count of all the departments, so I know it's pretty easy, but still, so if we are new and if we are performing multiple things on top of it, so we can just drag it and then we can just drop it here. So that this particular, yeah, so we'll be able to bring that particular function within our worksheet. Now, for this count of all might be a simpler one, but if we look at other things, so we have certain analytic functions and then we have certain character functions and things like that. Now assume that we are planning to create a SQL statement and then we need the date format in the right way. So we have certain section for it as well. So to test it, what we can do is I'll clear this out and I'll choose do well. So by default, it will be applied. This function would be applied on the sysdate or the system time. So here we have it on system time. So if I run it, so we'd be able to see this particular date format being applied here. And we'd be able to see, so there are a list of things which are present here. And then we have date time functions, number formats, so with which we'd be able to convert things in a much better way. One another thing which I am using most is the PL SQL part. So let me write a small segment here. And now if I have to write a script and if I am debugging it, so I would pretty much use this DBMS output. So we would be typing it again and again. So here we just have to drag and drop. So by this we have the samples thing here. So by doing this, we need not copy the thing and paste the stuff again and again. Rather, we can just drag and drop the things, and then we'd be able to see stuff in a much better way. Now let me execute this so that you can see how this script would look. So here we can see that this particular statement is this is printed right here within the script output. So we need not create a separate DBMS output section, and then we need not go there. Rather, it is directly printed here. So this is one another advantage that we have. And apart from this, we do have certain other features like case, cursors, the loop statements, conditional statements, and then we would also be able to write the predictive analysis things, the explain plan related things, and then we would also be able to look into the pseudo columns. So the row val, row ID, and yes, the row number, row ID, and other things can be seen here. So with this, we'd be able to understand things in a much better way, and moreover, we'd be able to know all the available options for a given segment. And yes, so with this, we'd be able to learn things in a much better way. And there are several other SQL snippets which can be much useful. And then we have certain section called reports. And within reports, we would be able to see that things are categorized in a right way. So we have the PL SQL related things here. We have Apex related things here. So within this, we'll be able to see the Apex applications. And I have another video, dedicated video for all the Apex related things which are available within VS Code SQL Developer extension. I'll add that in the info section as well. And then we would be able to see the security level things, the reporting things, the ASH, AWR, and things like that. And we do have the data modeler reports. So the data modeler reports, it will give us the actual data which are with which we will be able to know the relationship between things, but we won't have the extensive level of things which are available in the SQL Developer desktop at the moment. So that diagrammatic representation of the relationships, it's not yet fully incorporated here, but I am planning to create a separate video on that where we can actually create that just by providing a single prompt, and then we can create it with the help of SQL CL MCP, and then we would also be able to use an AI model to do that. So I'll create that, and then yes, so you can see that video popping up in our channel in the upcoming days. And let me also show few table alteration related things. So by clicking this, we'll be able to see this particular thing where all the table editing part. So we can add columns, and then we can remove columns, and we can add primary keys, change the things, and then we can add indexes, the constraints, comments, and things like that. So and within DDL, we'd be able to see the exact table changes. So now we have just created it. So if I alter it, so you would be able to see those things within this update section. So it is categorized in a good way, and yes, so that is one another thing that we have. And then let's say if we need to work with two different files, so I can just click on this particular part, open SQL worksheet, and I'd be able to create a second worksheet, just like how we used that. And now if I want to compare two things, or if I need two sheets in a side-by-side manner, so I can just split the thing. So I can just use this, and I'd be able to split it. So and I'll have the same output here. So with let me show that with a simple example. So I can just run this particular statement here, and then yes, I'll be able to see the output here. Now yeah, I can, oh, okay, I have the wrong one, but still, now if I can just run this again, and then yes, I have the output here. If I run it again, yes. So this particular part this would be very much helpful, where we would need two different windows to work side by side. So that in those scenarios, we'd be able to use this. And yes, so this is the rollback option, and then this SQL CL, this is to run the SQL CL commands directly here. So ideally, we would be executing it either through the command window terminal, or by logging into the actual DB server. But here we'd be able to execute it from here directly, and we look into these things in the upcoming videos. And we'd also be able to see other database objects here, and then we are also able to see MLE environments, JavaScript modules, and things like that. And we can actually look into this one by one in the upcoming videos. And if we want to terminate the connection, to disconnect this particular connection, I can just click this disconnect icon. So just by doing it, so you'd be able to see that now in the bottom right, I can see no connection attached. If I decided to run this SQL, so I'd be prompted with this particular part again, since we have disconnected it. So that is pretty much it, which I wanted to cover in this particular video. And that's a quick walkthrough of Oracle SQL Developer inside the VS Code. So we have covered creating a connection, opening worksheets, running SQL, creating tables, insert along with the commit action, and then certain SQL snippets, and the DBMS output, how its output is being printed on the screen, and then the ways of exporting the result data. If you are getting started with Oracle inside VS Code, this should help you get productive really fast. And I hope that this video would have helped you a bit at least. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again in the next video. If this video helped you learn something new or find what you are looking for, please give it a like. It really helps the channel. I'd also love to hear your thoughts, so feel free to drop a comment below. And if you are interested in more content like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again in the next video.